Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. This is a story that's been making waves across the NFL community, and for good reason. The Atlanta Falcons, a team that's been teetering on the edge of contention, just saw a blockbuster move that could redefine their defensive front, and who knows, maybe even their entire season. The news. The Falcons have traded away David Onyemata, a key interior defensive lineman, to the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. That's a pretty significant move, especially considering Onyemata's impact on the field, and it signals some serious strategic shifts happening in Atlanta right now. But why would the Falcons part ways with such an important player? Well, it all comes down to roster flexibility, cap space, and the team's long-term vision. First, let's talk about Onyemata's role and what he brought to the Falcons. The Nigerian-born defensive tackle has been a force since arriving in Atlanta, earning 2 Pro Bowl selections and ranking among the top 50 players in PFF grades for 2025. Onyemata is known for his disruptive ability inside, his power, quickness, and relentless pursuit of the quarterback. Over his career, he's accumulated 38 sacks, 98 QB hits, and an impressive run defense grade of 87.8. He's the kind of player who commands double teams, freeing up teammates and creating opportunities for sacks and pressures. In 2025 alone, up until October 19th, Onyemata had registered 4 sacks, 16 QB hits, and maintained an 88.5 PFF grade, with a win rate of 17% and pressures reaching 20, placing him among the top 15 defensive tackles in the league in that metric. In Week 6, he was dominant against the Bucs, with 5 sacks and 3 pressures, reminding everyone that he's still a premier interior disruptor. But injuries have also played a part in Onyemata's season. He suffered a shoulder injury in Week 4, missing 1 game, which might have influenced the Falcons' decision to move him now rather than later. Still, even with that, his overall impact has been undeniable. Comparisons are often drawn to former greats like Geno Atkins, who transformed the Bengals' defense with relentless pressure and power. Onyemata fits that mold, and his presence on the field can shift the balance in any game. Now, looking at the Falcons' current roster situation, this move makes more sense. They're currently 3-3, and while their offense has shown signs of promise, their defense needs an overhaul, particularly in the interior. The trade helps them free up around $16 million in cap space, which is crucial as they focus on extending players like Gardner, who's projected to hit a $22 million cap hit if re-signed. The Falcons are also prioritizing rebuilding their secondary, especially after dealing with injuries on the CB and OT positions. Post-IR, players like Phillips are working their way back, and the team is looking to add depth in those areas. The trade for Onyemata opens a spot, allowing younger players like Taquan Graham, who has been impressive with an 82.8 PFF grade, to get more playing time. And that's precisely what Atlanta needs: more youth, more energy, and more versatility on the defensive line. Now let's switch gears and look at what this means for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, sitting at 4-2 in the AFC West, are in a different kind of mode, an all-in push for another Super Bowl. With Patrick Mahomes at the helm, they've been one of the most potent offenses in the league, averaging over 20 points per game, but their defense has been a bit inconsistent. Adding Onyemata is a calculated move to bolster their interior defensive line, which has been a weak spot at times this season. Onyemata is projected to add around 7 sacks in 2025 and improve their run defense by about 18%, especially crucial with Mahomes' high-powered offense needing a stronger defensive complement. His ability to pressure the quarterback, combined with Chris Jones' presence on the line, could elevate their pass rush to new heights. Last season, Jones and Cox created havoc in the trenches, and Onyemata's addition could be the final piece that transforms the Chiefs' defense into a true elite unit. His pressures per game, which are already among the league's top for interior linemen, will help Patrick Mahomes face less pressure and extend drives, especially in tight playoff games. The Chiefs are clearly in Super Bowl or bust mode, and this trade signals that they're willing to go all in, risking future cap space to chase another championship. Now, what about the impact on the odds? Well, the Chiefs' Super Bowl odds have already shifted favorably, from plus 2,000 to plus 1,200 after this trade. Onyemata is seen as an X-factor on the inside, especially in high-stakes playoff situations. His ability to generate pressures, up 23% in the postseason, could be the difference maker against top-tier offenses like the Ravens or Bills. It's a bold move, but for a team that's already won a Super Bowl with Mahomes, it's a clear statement that they're not settling. They believe this move can push them over the top and give them that extra edge needed to win back-to-back titles or even a three-peat. The addition of Onyemata, along with their existing talent, is making them a serious threat, and fans should be excited about the potential for another dominant run. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, it's a different story. They are clearly in a rebuilding phase on defense, focusing on developing their young talent and managing their cap. The trade for Onyemata might seem like a loss now, but it's part of a broader strategy. They are investing in the future, acquiring draft picks, and trying to build a more sustainable, versatile team. They're aware that their defense can't afford to be overly dependent on veterans, especially with the risk of declining performance or injuries. By trading Onyemata, they create opportunities for players like Graham and others to step up, while also maintaining flexibility for future signings and extensions. It's a risk, no doubt, but sometimes you have to give up a key piece to gain future assets and set the foundation for a more competitive team down the line. Looking ahead, this trade has the potential to reshape both teams' trajectories. For the Falcons, it's about laying the groundwork for a stronger, more flexible roster that can compete in the NFC South and beyond. They're betting on their young players and trying to avoid the trap of over-relying on aging veterans. For the Chiefs, it's about maximizing their current window of opportunity, adding a proven disruptor in Onyemata to bolster their championship hopes. It's a move that could be remembered as one of the key pieces in their quest for another Super Bowl victory. Both teams are operating with a clear vision, one rebuilding for the future, the other pushing all in for immediate glory. And that's what makes this trade so fascinating to watch unfold. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. This trade reflects a broader trend in the NFL where teams are more aggressive than ever, willing to part with draft capital and young talent to chase championships. The Falcons, by moving Onyemata, show a focus on cap management and long-term planning, while the Chiefs exemplify that all-in mentality, risking future picks for immediate gains. This strategic divergence is what makes the league so exciting right now. Every game, every move could tip the balance of power in the NFC or AFC for years to come. The NFC South, in particular, is becoming a more competitive division, with the Falcons trying to rebuild, and the Saints and Panthers also making moves. The Chiefs, meanwhile, continue to dominate the AFC West, with Mahomes and their revamped defense looking to make another deep playoff run. And speaking of the Falcons, fans have every reason to stay optimistic. The team has shown resilience, and with young players like Graham stepping up, plus the strategic moves in the draft and cap space, they're laying the groundwork for a future that could be bright. The loss of Onyemata hurts in the short term, but it's part of a bigger picture, one that involves developing their defensive line, managing their salary cap, and focusing on building a team that can contend for years to come. This is a team that's not afraid to make bold moves, and that's part of the identity of the Falcons right now. They're balancing between the present and the future, trying to keep the competitive spirit alive while also setting themselves up for sustained success. And as we look at the NFL landscape, it's clear that both the Falcons and the Chiefs are making strategic choices rooted in their unique circumstances. The Chiefs are pushing their chips all in, betting that Onyemata's addition will be the final piece they need to secure another Super Bowl. The Falcons, meanwhile, are playing the long game, focusing on building through the draft, cap flexibility, and developing their young core. It's a fascinating dynamic, and it's why NFL fans should pay close attention to how these moves play out over the coming weeks and months. The NFL is a league of constant evolution, and trades like this one are what keep us glued to our screens, always eager for the next big story. Ultimately, this trade underscores the high stakes and strategic depth that define modern NFL team building. It's about assessing risk, maximizing talent, and trying to stay ahead of the curve. For Falcons fans, it might be tough to see Onyemata go, but it's also a sign that the organization is thinking long-term and making bold decisions. For Chiefs fans, It's a reason to be even more excited about the upcoming playoffs, knowing that Onyemata's presence inside the line could be the X factor that takes them to the promised land again. As the season progresses, everyone will be watching closely, seeing how these moves influence the playoff picture, and whether the Falcons can harness their young talent and cap space to make a run, or if the Chiefs' new interior presence will propel them to yet another Super Bowl. So in conclusion, this trade is more than just a transaction. It's a statement about the current state of the NFL, where strategic patience and bold risk-taking go hand in hand. The Falcons are laying the foundation for their future, while the Chiefs aim for immediate glory. Both approaches are valid, and both are incredibly exciting for fans who love the game. As always, the NFL keeps us on the edge of our seats with these stories of ambition, strategy, and pure football passion. And no matter which team you root for, it's impossible not to get caught up in the drama of it all. The season is heating up and the stakes have never been higher. Stay tuned because this story is far from over and I promise you the best is yet to come. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and TO, the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.